Alright, so today we're going to be working on the gears animation. This is just a short animation to teach you motion tweening as well as rotation using your rotation tool and some of your other tools like rectangle or circle if you want. Not circle, triangle if you want. So your polygon tool. First thing we're going to do is we're going to click create new. We want to do a standard, keep the file size small. Standard just means it has a smaller size of width and height. Our frame rate is 30 frames per second. It can be from 24 to 30. That's usually motion. So we're going to click create. All right, first thing we're going to do, again, walking around our space, we have our tools on the left side right here. On the right side here, we have our properties panel, which allows us to change the properties of shapes that we have on our screen. We have our library, which allows us to look at our symbols that we create, and we can reuse those over and over again. Colors and alignment. Right? We also have colors down here on the left, so you can click down here on the left and you can click on your colors. Remember, you have a fill color and a stroke color, which is also like a border. So if you don't want a stroke color, you can click right here and turn that off. But you have to usually have a fill color. Not always, but most of the stuff has fill colors. Down here at the very bottom is your timeline again. And then this is your playhead. That blue line right here is your playhead. So we have layers, just like some of the other Adobe products you might learn in the future, which the layers allow us to have independent containers which hold various elements, which can be in front of or behind other elements. Right? We have our new layer button, allows us to give new layers, and we have our delete button, allows us to delete the layers. You can also put them in folders, which are like groups of smaller groupings of layers. Right? We have our playback. This loops it, and then this forward, and step back. And then down here we also have our timeline. Increase the size of it or decrease it so you can see. It's important that you guys look at your 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. Notice that those are seconds versus these 5, 10, 30 frames. So remember, 30 frames equals 1 second. So it's important that you can see both of those before you begin. Alright, so first thing we're going to do for this gear project, we opened our document. We're now going to find our polygon tool. So I have my polygon tool right here, Polystar tool, but I'm going to reset this and show you how I got it. So workspace, I'm going to change it to small, basic. So the ones that you can use are small screen, essentials, and basics. I'm going to go to basic. All right, so this is our basic. Again, we have our scene. That's this area right here. Sometimes you'll see more than one thing up here, and that just means you're going deeper and deeper into different sections of a object or sections of your scene. So this usually is right here. So to get that, I click on this, the 3 dots, and then I can go to my polygon tool and I can drag this up here and I can put it in my shapes. So I'm going to put it way up here at the top next to my other ones. You also have your bone tool in here, your pen tools, your convert point, width tool, and magnifying glass. All right. To close that, we just click back on the 3 dots and we're going to create our shape. So for the first shape, I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to choose this green color. I don't want to have a border on this, so if you have a border, I'll just turn it to nothing. And I'm going to drag out a shape, right? Right, so I have that on my screen. I'm going to go back to my polygon tool. I'm going to change my color. This time I'm going to go with, let me deselect that first. So go back to my polygon tool, change the color. Let's go back to green since I changed this one to red. I'm going to do another polygon. Right, deselect it. So I just go back to my red arrow so I don't have it selected. And then find my polygon. And it doesn't have to be a polygon, it could be a rectangle. I'll make a rectangle out of this one. I'm going to change the color to blue. So change it to blue. And I think I need to have 5 shapes, 4 shapes. So I'm going to do one more and change this color. Let's change it to a purpley or brown color. Alright, so those are my shapes. Next thing I want to do is I want to select all of them. There's 2 ways to select it. I can drag across like this. That selects them. Or I can go to Command or Control A and that selects everything on the page. That's just like going up to Edit. Select all. Alright? So what we want to do is we want to distribute these shapes to separate layers, because right now we have them all on one layer, so we want to distribute them to separate layers. So we're going to right click, go down to distribute to layers, and we're going to distribute them. So to check what layers have what, we can just turn off the eyeball. Alright, so layer 1 should be now empty, so if I click on the eyeball nothing happens. So we can select layer 1 and just delete that. But we want to name these other layers. So I saw that that one's the green one, so I'm going to type in green. I just double clicked on the name, the layer. This is red. And then this one is brown. So brown. And the last one is blue. Alright, so now we have our layers in order. And if you ran out of space, you can always drag this up so you have a little bit more room. I just came over to where I saw the double arrow appear, and it allows me to drag it. Alright, so now I can see all my layers very nicely. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my green layer. I'm going to find my 2-second mark. 2 seconds is right about here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say insert frame. Alright, so if you notice, my playhead is workable now, so I can move it because now I have some information in those frames. But my shapes are only on the first layer, the first frame. So now when I move it, only one that has more than one frame is the green one, which is fine. So I'm going to right click, and I want to change this into a motion tween. So right click motion tween. I'm going to convert it to a symbol. I can come over to my layers to check if it's a symbol. So I have symbol 1 and it's a green rectangle. If I want to change the name of it, green polygon. Alright, so that will always be in there in this project, and I can grab that and I can put more than one out there if I wanted to. Right, I can just put that out, but it's fine where it is. So next thing I want to do is I want to rotate this. So sometimes rotation shows up in your properties. If it's not in your properties, what we can do is we can hit Control or Command T, or go to Window and go down to Transform. So now we have our transform. I think the first one has to be 360. So I just clicked on the degrees that were there, clicked on it. So rotate. I'm going to type 360. Oh. Before I do that, I want to make sure that my playhead is at 2 seconds. So let's go back, Control T or Command T. Rotate. Change this to 360. And then I'm going to hit Tab. Alright, so it says 360 and it's kind of saved there. Now I'm going to go down here and check it. So yay, it rotates. So now I'm going to click on my red layer. I'm going to right click on the thing, on the 2 second mark, say insert frame. Right click, create motion tween. Right, so I did a motion tween again. Make sure that I'm at 2 seconds in my timeline. Control or Command T. The second one is 720. So I'm going to type 720. Hit Tab. Right. So now they're both going, right? But they're going at different speeds because 720 is rotating a lot less. So I'm going to come to my third layer, my brown layer. Right click, insert frame. I'm gonna hit Control T, and I'm gonna change this to 1080, and hit Tab. So now I have 1080. Oh, didn't do my motion tween. So, and I skipped a step here in the directions. I'm just remembering this. We insert a frame. We create our motion tween. Oops, we want to make sure I'm on 2-second mark. So insert frame or motion tween. Oh, actually, let me point out something. So see that I have a dot, a triangle, polygon on these, a circle here, and a line here. Insert, and this time I'm going to do it the way the instructions say. Insert keyframe, rotation, right? So, but Control T. This one is 1080. Hit Tab, right? And now let's see if it rotates. Yay, it rotates. All right, and then the last one, we're gonna right click, insert frame, click on the gray bar, and then we're gonna say create motion tween. Okay, we're gonna right click at that 2-second mark. So put my playhead at 2-second mark, right click, insert keyframe, rotation, and Command T or Control T, or go to your properties panel if it's in your properties panel. And we're going to change the last one to 360. All right, so that's it. So now we have our animation. So if we hit play, they should all be going at different speeds and look a little bit different, but those are our gears. So you can imagine these with little nubs on them, so they catch each other, and then you have working gears. Right, so that is your project. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to save it. So File, Save. I'm going to title it Gears. And then I'm going to go back to File. I'm going to go down to Export and export as an animated GIF. Right, we want to make sure transparency is off. So usually it looks like this. I always turn that off so that we have a white background. And I'm going to click Save. Gears.gif, that's fine. And that's it. So you're going to turn that into Canvas. Remember, if you want to view that Gears GIF that you have to open it within a browser like Internet Explorer or Chrome. All right, that's it. Hope this is helpful.